Okay, I hope you can hear me. Okay, so um, the last time we spoke at length about loops and what are loops and how loops affect the way in which we write our code. So today we are going to look at examples using loops and how these examples affect the way that we can write our code, if that's okay. So on the screen now, I have a question on the screen. Can one person read the question on the screen for us? Can one person read the code on the screen for us?
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Okay, please, I'm reading the question.
Sure.
The tuition fee for GCTU is for 2,400 per year. Suppose the University Financial Committee recommends that tuition fee should be increased at an annual rate of 5%. Write a program that uses a loop to compute the tuition in 10 years.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, the question that is on the screen, who does not understand? If you do not understand the question on the screen, let me know now. So we all understand it. Okay. So one person should explain to me what the question on the screen wants us to do. Please don't let me be mentioning names for people to talk. I really don't like that. It is an open class. One person should explain to me what they think the code wants us to do.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, please, I want to try.
of course.
Sir, please, the understanding that I'm getting from it is that there is an amount, the fees that the students have to pay, and the school is intending to increase it every year per annum, and the rate at which they'll be doing that is 5%. So we are creating the code that will give us the amount for the 10 years. So the 5% for every year, it will tell us till the 10 years.
Very good. That is all they expect from us. So at the end of the day, they want you to tell them how much they will be paying per the 5 years. Okay. So if I wanted to know how much fees you'll be paying for a particular year, not for the 5 years, for a particular year, what is um, the formula, or how can I determine the amount of fee you pay for a particular year? Let's say, for example, year one is equal to 2,400. So year two would be equal to what? How will I find year two? Who can help us? And please, there is a reason why I am asking you guys, yes, Felix, but Felix, before you talk, there is a reason why I am asking for your input. I could easily just talk and then close and then we go away. But let's remember a very, very important fact. I can code. So if I am doing it, it really doesn't benefit you guys. The key is to benefit you guys. So I need to hear from you. I need to hear how you are thinking. It is not about right or wrong. It is not an exam, and I am not giving marks. It is about me knowing how you are thinking so that I can help you. Because if I don't know, and I can't see you physically too, so the only way we can interact and make sure you are getting the best out of this class is by you expressing your views. And it is very important. Yes, Felix, please tell me, how will I do that according to you?
All right, so to me, you multiply the annual rate by the school fee or the tuition fee.
By the tuition fee. So how will I do that? Tell me specifically. How will I do that?
So multiply 2,400 by 0.50.
0.50.
Yeah. What the
Okay.
reason for the 0.50 is you divide it by 100%.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But Felix, if you divide 5 over 100, will you get 0.05 or you get 0.50?
No, not 50. It's 0.05. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
0.05. Sorry.
That's fine. You're welcome. Don't worry. Thank you so much. So if I want to calculate for year one, okay, for year one, just year one, means this is what I would get. Now for year three, it means I have to take year one. By the way, before we go on, this would give me, this here is going to give me the amount of money that the school fees is going to be increased by. Okay, so over here, Felix has given us the amount of money the school fees is going to be increased by. Now, for me to know the amount of fees the students are going to pay, I must know the initial amount, and then I must add it to the amount of fees that the school fees is going to be increased by. Very important. So what Felix told us is what we call the increment. How much is the increment? And we know the increment. And that's fine. But for us to know the monetary amount we are going to pay, it is the increment plus the amount itself. Now note, I always say this, and I'm saying this again. The course is not me solving these problems with you. These problems, it is assumed that at the level you are now, you should understand it. But the problem is that we have not done these examples enough for us to understand these kind of problems. So it is very, very important for us to not only learn the structure of the code, but see real life examples like these to help us build our coding skills. That is why I am taking my time again and not assuming you can solve and breaking it down with you. But this is not the programming class. The programming class is the various structures we are learning, the if statement, the for statements, those kind of things. That is the programming class. Now, if I want to find for the next year, it means that I have to take whatever that was in year 2, and then multiply that one by 0.05, and then add that to what we have in year 2, And then that will give me year 3. If I want year 4, that means that I have to take what was in year 3 and then add it up to its initial amount, and I'll get what? Year 4. We can see that we are repeating stuff. We are doing stuff over and over again. And as we are repeating stuff, there are some few things which change. The years change, but the things themselves, the structure itself is the same. This tells us that for this type of program, because we are doing something and repeating over and over again, we are supposed to use a loop. We can use any of the 3 forms of loops that we have. But in this scenario, we know something. We know that we are starting at year 1. We know that after we start at year 1, we want to move for 10 years. That means that we want to go through the entire loop for 10 years. So we know our starting point, our ending point, and we want to go through year by year. So every year we are going through it once. What kind of loop do we use when we know our starting point, our condition when we want to end, and the number of steps we want to take? We use the for loop. So as you can see, before I even started writing any code, before I even started to put my place and then open IntelliJ and start typing or anything, I have already established the formula I want to use, the type of loop I want to use, and why I'm even using that form of a loop. Note that you can use the other forms of loops. It's not necessarily that we have to use the for loop. So if I come to the IntelliJ to code now, Prince Hammond, do you have a question? If I come to my IntelliJ to code now, let me go through this process because I understand some of you still don't know how to set up your IntelliJ. I hope the video I sent you on the IntelliJ setup helped you a lot. But in this case here, again, I just click on File. After clicking on File, I go to New and New Project. And this will bring up this window for me. Can we see it? Can we see it?
Yes, sir.
Is this better or the other one is better?
Yeah, this is better.
This is better. All right, sure. So over here, I can type in the name of the project in which I want to do. Now over here, again, you see, the name is you're supposed to give a name that reflects what you're doing. You know, you can type anything here. You can type Kofi Min or Ama or anything in which you want. But it makes sense to type a name of what you're doing so later you can refer to it whenever you want. So in my scenario here, whereby we are dealing with fees and tuition, I am going to type what? Tuition over here. So it is the tuition what? App. Very simple, very, very easy for me to remember. I am using Java as my language. The building system is IntelliJ, but over here, I am using the Eclipse JDK. If you don't have Eclipse JDK here, you have to download it. And in your class group, I've sent you a video on how to set up the IntelliJ. Once you are done, just click on what? Create. And that is all. It will create everything for you and set you up. Once you are set up, you click on the main window. And over here, it builds up with an initial set of code for you. We don't want it. So I'll just remove it. So now I can write my code in here. What do I want to write? First of all, I know I'm going to write int year because I have never seen a year which is 2.5 before or 4.2. This year 1, year 2, 2021, 2022. I've never seen 2021.5 before. So I cannot use a double in this scenario. I'm using an int. Are we okay? And this would help me to mark the years. Let me not even go in that direction. Let me go in this direction. Let me save the money. So over here, I'm going to say double and then fee, whereby the fee is 2,400. So damn, my initial fee, I know it is 2,400. So I've already set it up. Now, 4 into brackets int n being equal to 1, semicolon, and this is my initializer. This shows my initial starting point, okay? Then I need my condition, and the condition is important because to tell me where the loop is going to end, and the loop is going to run till n is less than or equal to what? 10. And in doing so, I have gotten my 10 years. That's fine. And then the next thing, how many steps am I going to go through? I'm going to go to n what? Plus plus. Now, by now, I know most of you know this, but n plus plus is the same as n is equal to n plus what? 1. So that should not be a problem to you. That means that we are just stepping n through once. And that saves us that level of coding in that section there. The next thing in which is very important is to do the body. Now, the body is where we are going to put in all the actions for our code. Is that okay? So now we can write our code. Now we can put the information we want inside our for statement. What are we going to put inside our for statement? We are going to put the following. We are going to write fee is equal to 2,400, okay, 2,400 plus the massing which we did over here. Where is it? Where is that? Sorry, I can't find it. Look that. It itself. Writing the things with look that. Good, so it is here. All right. So this massing which we did here, that is what we are going to put in there. So over here we have the fee being equal to 2,400 plus into bracket 2,400 times 0.05. There's a problem with this. Now, the fee, we said initially that the fee is 2,400. So over here, we don't have to type 2,400 again. We just have to type the fee variable because the fee is already contained in the 2,400. The next thing, we are saying that everything in which you do here should be equal to what? Fee. It is very important we understand this. We are not doing maths. Forget about maths. We are writing the steps to solve something. So it is at this point in which a lot of people get confused when they see fee is equal to fee plus fee times 0.05. It is here where people start to lose their minds and don't. At line 8, I am saying that take what is in fee, add it to what is in fee times 0.05. Now, when you are done doing the side in which I have highlighted, go and put the result in what? Fee. It doesn't mean that this and this is what? Equal. It means do what is on this side, and when you are done, go and put the result here. That means that I can gladly say that the fee or system dot out dot print. Are we okay? And here I can put in year 1, because let's say year 1 plus what? Fee. Now this does something to my code whereby I don't want. If I am to run this, it will just keep on repeating year 1, year 1, year 1, year 1, because this is inside a string and it is supposed to display how it is. But remember that we are doing for 10 years. So the writing should reflect the fact that I am moving through for 10 years. So over here, I'll make some modifications. I'll bring this and bring a plus here. And then I'll bring that and bring a plus here. And over here, I'll put in what? N. Now, it means that every single time my program will run, the value of N would be increased by 1. So I'll have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. So that helps me with the writing, helps me with the display. Are we okay? Over here, I'll quickly bring LN here so that everything will not be in one long line. And I will run my code. Now, in running my code, of course, to check, make sure everything is fine. Make sure everything is fine. And tells me over here that in year 1, this is the amount of money I would have. In year 2, this is the amount of money I'm paying. Year 3, this is the amount of money I'm paying. And you can see that the results in which I'm looking for, it is reflecting like that. It presents the user with information on the various years, and then it goes down the ladder, showing perfectly where the amount of money they'll be paying due to the 0.5 increment. Of course, if I wanted my program to look a little more money-like, I could bring the Ghana CD sign in front of the symbol so that when I run it, I would have something like this showing this is the amount of money I'll be paying in Ghana CD, or if it is dollar or the dollar rate. But at that point in time, it's all about me demonstrating how I would showcase my code. We can see that this code we have here is the solution for the problem in which we're given over here. It is not all that long. It is not some long, windy code, but it does its job by repeating this action over and over and over again. Let me use this screen here to explain the code line by line. So I'm going to remove the top halves over here so that it is just left with the double half. And I'm going to start from here. Over here, again, going through it again, we are saying that fee is equal to 2400. I come here. I'm saying that for int n being equal to 1, where n is less than or equal to 10, n plus plus. Now, before the plus plus section comes into play, it means you have run the code once. So here, since n is equal to 1 and 1 is less than 10, I would enter here. So I'm on this line here. At this line here, we are saying that go and take what is in fee. So what is in fee would be placed here, and what is in fee will be placed here. The calculation will be done, and the result of that calculation will be placed inside what? Fee. Once that is done, we will come to this section here, which says display year. So the computer will go and display what? Year. It also says display space. So we can see the space here has been what? Displayed. And then display what is in n. N initially was 1. So over here, what will be displayed? 1. It says display dot dot, the semicolon or the colon. So it will display a colon. display space, and then display GHC. So it displays GHC. The next thing which will be displayed would be the amount you put inside fee after calculating all of this. So the amount you put inside fee will be 25 something something, let's see. Okay, so over here you have that. Now I am here. So it means the next thing I'll go is to come to the end of my code. But I said the code should be increased by 1. So it will be increased by 1. So n is now what? 2. Is 2 less than 10? Yes, it is. So I am back here again. Remember, fee now is not 240. Fee now is this. So now this will be placed here, and the calculation will be done. The result will be put in here. And then once the result is done, we will come back here. We said we should display these items. So we display them. But n is now what? 2. So it means here, instead of 1, 2 would be what? Displayed. And then the calculation done on fee using the amount here would be done. So now we'll have Ghana cedi, and then the amount of fee that should be put there. Let's say it is 3550. It is not that one. I'm just saying will be placed there because that is the new fee. Now, here in my display, I've even made a mistake because here with the Ghana cedi, there is no space here. So I have left a space here. So it's supposed to display like this. If I want there to be a space, it means here I have to add space so that this space will be reflected here. You control everything. Everything you do is controlled by you. That is what makes programming so nice. For once in your life, you are the one in charge and you control how the thing should move. So it is very, very important that you understand your control. Now, I am going to do everything again. Everything we did right now with the for statement, which is okay. I've copied it out so you have a copy of the code after the class, but I'm going to do everything again. And this time I am going to use the while statement to write my code. Again, I have to start off by giving my initial year. So I'm going to say year is equal to the money they are supposed to pay. So the fee is equal to the 2,400. Remember that that amount of money is a double. So I'll put double here so that it showcases that. There's a reason I'm using double for fee, because the school fees you pay, sometimes there's coins on it. There's 0.2 pesos, there's 40 pesos, you know. If you make it an int, those pesos go away. And don't be deceived, if you take 2 pesos out of 1 billion, you don't have 1 billion anymore. So it matters, especially when you are dealing with money. So back to our code. I have the while statement. Now the while statement comes with the bracket, which you are supposed to put the condition over here, the condition in which you want to run so that your code would run. That condition is what you put in here. So what condition am I supposed to put here? The code is supposed to run 10 times. So I want it to run whilst n is less than or equal to what? 10. The problem here is that where is the n coming from? Because with the for statement, you have to initialize it. You do int n, but here you have not initialized it and you are saying n is less than 10. That means that for a while statement, you have to state the incremental. That is the n is equal to 1. This statement here, you have to state it outside of the statement yourself. You have to write it. So the computer now knows that, oh, my starting point is 1, and I'm running through to, I guess, to 10. So over here, I can do the same thing which I did for the other one. Fee is equal to fee into bracket. Oh, here is supposed to be plus, sorry. Fee times 0.05. And of course, since I know what is phi at this point, I can say system.out.what print into bracket. Let me put year here, and then here I'll put the same thing which I did for plus n, then plus, and over here, let me put the $ instead and leave a space, and I'll bring a colon and the space here so that it looks nice, and here I'll put plus phi here. Great. Now I can run this code, right? So I run it. Now there is a problem. And we can see the problem from it being run here. That the code is running and never stopping. Why is it running and never stopping? It is running and it's never stopping because every time this while statement goes through its cycle, n is always going to be equal to 1. This is what we call a never-ending loop. This is what we call a loop that does not have a conclusion. This is what we call a worm. If I wanted to crash your PC, I could write a worm that would be adding a 1 megabyte file or creating a 1 megabyte file on your computer. Now, to you, 1 megabyte file and you have 1 terabyte hard disk, it really doesn't make any difference. Say, 1 megabyte, 1 more. But if I'm able to let this run forever, 1 megabyte will soon turn into 1 terabyte and your hard disk will be full. So you have a word, you have a code which is replicating itself. It is never ending. Now remember this very, very important point, that in order for this to run, and let's look at how it will run again. Let me do it in Notepad so that we can see how this code is also running and affecting before we make the modification and understand why we are making the modification that we are supposed to make. We are saying at the beginning of our code here, looking from this point of view, that phi is equal to this. And then n is equal to 1. So over here, n being less than 10, n, the value of n. Remember, you see, I use some specific words. I never say n is 1. I say the value of n, because n here is just a container holding a particular value. And at this point in time, it is holding 1. It could be anything, but at this point in time, it is 1. How do I know it's 1? Because here I said, create a space, make it an integer, and give it 1. So here, n being 1 means that the initial value of n at this point in time in your code is 1. 1 second. Sorry about that. At this point in time in your code, n is 1. Now, note this, that if n is 1 here and I enter here, that means phi is equal to phi. Over here, phi will turn into 2,400. Over here, too, phi will turn into 2,400. The calculation will be done here. We understand that portion. And then the answer will be put in here. So over here, I would have the same thing which was at the top here being displayed over here. So this will be displayed here. That's fine. I am here now. So now, because it is a loop, I have to go back to the top to check the condition to see if I should continue or I shouldn't continue. Okay, so over here, n is still 1. That means that since n is 1, the question here is always going to be, is n less than 10? Yes. So this will continue running to your hard disk falls or Jesus Christ Cup. That means that we have to find a way to control the incremental. And it is at that point that we would have to put in our code that n++. Now this n++, every time our code runs, this n plus plus would increase the value of n by 1 till it gets to 10, then it would what? Stop. Over here, again, the reason why I bring ln over here whenever I'm displaying, if I don't, everything will be displaying on the same line, and I don't want that. So when I run my code now, I will have the same thing I had for the first statement, and it ends at 10 because of this piece of code here inside the loop, so that it will help with the control. Remember, for a while loop, you don't have a starting point or an ending point. So you have to determine the starting point outside of the loop, and you have to control the loop inside. The same code, no difference, but I've written it with the for loop, I've written it with the while loop. The same code again, no difference. I'm going to write this same code again using the do while. Just like the while, I have my fee being equal to 2,400. By the way, before I go to the do while, I didn't pause to ask for questions. Is there any question before I go to the last form of loop? Is there any question? Anyone with a question?
No questions here.
Okay. So just
sir,
like
please.
the while.
Hello, sir.
Mhm.
I want to ask why the do while and the while. I want to understand that place very well. Because
Why
the
do
double
while?
you explained, I didn't understand the double until you explained that it will come with decimals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, with the while too, I want to know, is it after you ran it, it came in like plenty in a line, different lines?
Okay. I understand.
And we are about talking about do while too. I want to
Okay. So over here, the while, if I remove the n plus plus, this is how it will show. Do you see the word you have here, infinity? You can see that the program has not ended, it is still running. Can we see that? Here, it is still running. Now, here, it is showing as a vertical. It is showing in one line, right? If I was to pause this code, and if I was to pause this code, and I was to remove the ln over here, this is the ln, which means run this and move to a new line. So you can see that when this is run, it stops and moves to a new line. If I run this without the ln, it means you are running everything on one line. So you can see everything is being run on one line. It's coming to the bottom because of the stop here. But if it was like a large roll of paper, it would be running on one line and never stop. So the reason why it is running on one line and never stopping is because of the ln. That is for the first question. The second question is that it means all the things in which I was saying, you didn't understand anything. I am saying that the for statement, the while statement, and the do statement are all loops. Their job is what? Their job is to repeat something over and over again. How they are implemented is what we are looking at now. The how. So over here, I'm saying that if I want to run a while loop, I already have a condition here which is running. But for my condition not to run till the day Jesus Christ comes, because here we can see that the loop is running repeatedly and never stopping. I have to put in an increment, I have to put in a check, that is the n plus plus inside the loop. Why is the n plus plus there? So that every single time this loop runs, it will act as a counter and count that number of times and increase the value of n till we get to 10. So if I bring the n++ and I run this program, we can see that it goes till it hits 10, then it stops. The moment the n++ does not come and I run this program, the loop will run forever and never stop. You can see it is running and it is never going to stop. So the n++ is there acting as a control for our loop. Do we understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I am done with the while loop. So in the while loop, the structure of it is very different from the for loop. To be honest, you can use the while loop, the for loop, or the do while loop to do whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. And you shouldn't be one of those people whereby when you are learning, you are doing, you say, you know, and the way there's a code, there's a say you, that. I could write this same code again in a different way. I could. The key is the structure. The key is the structure, because anything you do should conform to that structure. Once you have a perfect understanding of the structure, you can write games, you can write virtual reality softwares, you can do whatever you want. Remember, the Java, you can use it to do web server applications, and funny enough, you can use the Java to write Android applications. And Android Studio is built on IntelliJ, which means that if you have a fair understanding of how IntelliJ runs, you can build an Android app now. And remember, an Android app, you charge people like 8,000, 10,000 for one app. So, you know, one weekend you sit down and then you write an Android app, you get 8,000. It's not bad, not bad. You can buy some hair, you know, you can take your girlfriend out for lunch or something like that. Let's look at the do statement. Now, as I said, just like the while statement, the do statement, it doesn't have a starting point or an ending point. It only has a condition. So here I have the do keyword, and then I have the body. The while, I'll have while and the condition, but with do, I am doing the action at least once. So here I have the do keyword, and then in the keyword, I'll put in the action in which I want to perform. What is the action I want to perform? It's the fee is equal to the fee plus, into bracket, fee plus what? 0.05. Over here, I have system.out.print, the same thing in which I had for the other one. And then just so that to save me some typing time, I'm just going to copy what I had over here. And the same explanation I gave for the while statement, you have to have the n++ so that it will act as the control. But you see, the do comes with another statement. You are doing it while something is happening. So it is do while. Into bracket, n is less than what? 10. So I am doing this whilst this condition holds what? True. So if I run this statement again, I'll get the same thing in which I got at the other side. Do while. Do while. Now, this should tell me something very important. Remember that in your group, I posted some questions there for you guys to go and try and let me know how it goes like. Number one, out of the 100 and I think 150 people, 120 people who are supposed to be here in the class at the moment, none of you showed me anything in which you have done. That's number one. None of you, 0 out of 100, 0 came back. That's number one. Number two, this question was one of those questions So the way you are acting like it is supposed to be new, it is very weird. And then the third thing in which I must put on and say is that, you see, I've been in different classes, and just like you, I've done, well, not just like you, but, I've done first degree and I've done master's and, PhD, whatever. So I've done all of those things, and I've sat in a lot of classrooms. I think more than you, because you are now doing degrees, so I've sat in more classrooms than you. And I've had various teachers, and teachers who will come and they will be shouting at you, and teachers who will come and all of those things. I've had all of those kind of teachers. It is not my job to come and stand here and advise you to learn or do the examples and show me and all of those things. I will never do that, because I am respecting you guys enough to understand that it is your future, and nobody can create your future for you. It is yours. So you have to take control about your future. And if it is about my parents said I should come to school, I don't like school, the teacher don't like me, I'm not having a good experience, remember that whatever experiences you're having now, they are not forever. They would end. And when they do end, it is you and you alone. It is your experiences, it's what you're doing, it's the life you are living, whatever you are doing. It is not my job to tell you that class starts exactly at 2:30, so be here at 2:30. You are paying money for me to be here at 2:30. So it is your job to be here at 2:30. If I am not here at 2:30, you should question me and ask me why I'm not here at 2:30, because it is your money I'm wasting. If it is there's a reason why I didn't do it as an assignment for you to go and then submit on LMS and all of that. I want you to have the freedom of trying and failing and expressing yourself. But since you guys do not want that experience of, oh, let me try and there's no pressure on me and all of that, that means that I have to go through the old school backward method way of teaching, whereby I have to put the assignment there, give you time frame and deadline, submit it by tomorrow by 7 o'clock, then everybody is rushing, those childish ways of doing things, forgetting that the reason why you are here is because of your future. It is very important for me that you express yourself, especially in this class. Not because I want to hear you express yourself. Let's not be deceived. Or not because I want to hear you tell me how your code will run. To be honest with you, I will prefer not, because I'll be very happy. But because the more you are able to do examples yourself, not with your friend, the more you feel, the more you don't understand something and then finally understand it, the better you become and the greater you become. And that is my job for the 1 hour 30 minutes here. Make you great. Please. Let's not do this thing whereby you don't come to class, I have to be chasing you, do assignment, that thing. No. Go and try it on your own. And another reason for that is some of you are shy of your friends. I don't know why. You all pay the same school fees. So when you try it, you can just take a picture on WhatsApp, says this correct, I'm trying to do this, it's not working out. That, I don't think that is hard. And luckily for you, I am the one even inviting the trouble of you sending me snapshots and worrying. Out of 100 and something, no one did it and showed anything. That is not good. Anyway, that is a piece of advice from one friend to another. Yes, what is, sir? What is?
Yes, sir, please. I just heard you talking about a group somewhere, but since some of us have no idea about that group.
Then how did you get access to the class, the Zoom?
To the class. Sir, please, the link is being shared to our various class platforms.
Oh, really? There's a class group for the class.
Is that they say?
There is the class has a group, or am I mistaken? That's why I put the link normally. The class has a group. It's called
No
it's
idea about that.
called Java A and B, and there are 155 participants. Okay, so please, one person just joined, so I'll put the link for the group inside your or the class rep. Please make sure everybody has the link to the group. Is that okay? So see the class rep who will help you out. Okay. Please, do we understand what a loop is? Do we understand what a loop is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then today we would end here. I would put the video of the class. I will do the video of the class and give it to you guys. And again, the video of the class too, there's only like 5 or 2 people who watch it. Do I really have to go through the border of downloading it and doing all of those things? Oh, it's okay, I shouldn't send the class thing, right? Like the video, the recording, should I still be sending the recording?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Because it's always like 5 people or 7 people who watch it. So like Charlie, you know, Juma, but you know, yeah. So I'll put the class thing there. There's an assignment in which I will be giving you. I'll be putting it inside the group for you guys to go and do it. This assignment is a bit difficult because it involves you combining 2 loops together, using 2 loops and combining them together. So it will be a bit difficult, but try and do it yourself. Don't go online and then copy the answer and then send it to me. And the reason why you shouldn't do that is because I don't need that. Like, that will not do anything for me, and it will not do anything for you. It is better you even send me the wrong answer for me to tell you, oh, this is wrong, do it this way, than for you to even send me the copied one. Do it yourself. If you are finding difficulty, ask a friend, or you can ask me about it. But do not call me at 8 o'clock and above. When it is 8 o'clock at night, don't call me. You can call me during the daytime. At the moment it is 8 o'clock, you don't call. You don't call. You can send WhatsApp. I don't call. Some of you call me around 10 o'clock. I say my code is not working. 10 o'clock, we code engagement. 10 o'clock, guys. 10 o'clock. Oh, we are. But apart from that, you can send me a WhatsApp. Look, as I said, it will be a bit difficult because it involves 2 loops, and your job is to manipulate the 2 loops to do the things in which you want to do. You understand? But apart from that, practice. The classes are too short for us to learn all the coding in the world. So practice, repeat, repeat, and repeat. And I'll continue sending you questions for you to try your hands on. But I don't know, maybe next week you would have something in your module so that you submit an assignment or 2 over there. And then the mid-semester is also coming up, so prepare for that one too. But everything we have done so far, please go back, repeat, 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 and see the patterns and see how you'll be solving them. We'll meet again next week, and I hope you all, I wish you all a good week, and don't do anything bad. Just live your life very quiet. Bye-bye.